After so many years of trading, I've discovered one of the most powerful concepts that has truly transformed the way I approach the markets, and that is the market structure shifts. Now, understanding how to recognize these shifts can give you major edge whether you're looking for trend reversal or riding a strong continuation. In today's video, I'm going to walk you through how to identify these shifts only using price action, and of course, we're going to focus on higher highs, higher lows, and lower lows in lower highs. Let's first break down the meaning of a market structure. We all know that sometimes the market goes up, down, or even sideways. Now, if you want to identify an upward market, all you need to identify are just series of higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low. And if you want to identify a down market, just identify this series: a lower low, lower high, lower low. And of course, talking about sideways market, we don't see higher high or even lower low. We see just the market moving from left to right. I'm talking about, you see market, instead of the market going up or down, all we see the market just moving sideways, respecting a demand or even the supply zone, something like this. All right, now let's first of all break down a uptrend market. Okay, so for you to identify and understand that the market or the current market that you're looking at an uptrend, all you need to understand or reinterpret is the market creating those highs and breaking out of those highs. I'm talking about price giving us a high, comes down. Now, when price is coming down, the market is not going to, retest this previous low. I'm talking about price giving us this kind of a higher low, then now goes back to break out of this high, something like this, and you see once again price coming down and continues to break these highs. And now if you look at this over here, this high is lower than this high, or we can say this high is higher than the previous high, right? This high right here is higher than the previous high, correct? Now this low right here is lower than the next low right here. So now that just tells you that this is just a bullish market, and the only thing you should be looking out for are strictly buys. Now if you want to look for selling market, make sure that the market is giving us lower low right here, goes back, breaks out of this lower low right here, something like this, then goes back to give us a lower high, continues breaking these structures. Now if you look at this over here, this low right here is lower than the next low right here, and if you look at this high is higher than this high, correct? Now we had a lower low right here, lower high, lower low, lower high, and that is it. Now if you look at a sideways market or a consolidating market, probably the market is in a range, moving in a sideways manner. Talking about, you see price going, hitting this level or a resistance, or you can call it a supply, then you see price coming back, hitting a low or a demand zone, then goes back, hitting a resistance, and this and this and this. So those are the three type of market structures that we do experience. Now let's continue. Now with this, if you want to identify a trend shift or a shift in trend, you need to do this. Look at this. Now if we were talking about an uptrend right here, this is it. Now this is how price usually behave. We initially anticipate price goes up, comes down, continue breaking structure. Then now when you see price coming back, now instead of price going back to break out of the last higher high right here, you see price doing this right there. Remember, this is our high right there, correct? Let's just have this right here, something like this. Now instead of price going back and breaking out of this high, you see price coming back right there, and then now price starts to reverse. Now in this process that the market or price is reversing, price is now taking out the previous low right here, the previous higher low, something like this. Now that is just a sign that this market trend is reversing, right? Or there's a shift in a market direction. Look at this, we had a higher low right there, and now we had a higher low right here. Now instead of price doing this, I'll repeat, instead of price breaking the previous high like this and continue with its normal trend, something like this, like this, like this, but then we don't see that. Instead we see price coming back, not breaking out of this, then now comes back and breaks out of the last immediate, remember, the last immediate higher low. That being said, so this is how we're going to look for opportunity. Remember, now price has started printing a series of a lower low right here and a lower high. So all we need to anticipate is market shift, something like this, retest, and the market is not going, should not break out of this high once again, because we anticipate we are printing a lower high and we see price maybe continuing down. This is where we look for selling properties, right? Now if you want to look out for shifts on a downtrend, this is it. We anticipate, as usual, price goes down, then now comes back down once again, and now does this. Now once again, this is it. Remember, the market has been printing series of a lower low right here, lower high right there, lower low right there. Now we anticipate, now instead of price, let's just do this, instead of price going back and breaking out of this lower low right here, we see the market does this, comes back right there, correct? Let's just mark this right here. Let's just have this as our last, our last lower low, right? Lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high. Now instead of the market to break out of this and continue with the trend, we see the market doing this, going back, and guess what? The market breaking out of the last immediate lower high right here. The market taking out that low high. So that means that price is kind of changing direction, and now we are in an uptrend, higher high, higher low, and now of course the market went up to give us a higher high, and guess what? We just anticipate price to come back, give us a retest, and make sure that the market does not take out this last low once again right there. Then look for your bullish properties, go in for buys, right? I hope that makes sense. And basically this is just something like an inverse head and shoulder, left shoulder right here, head, and of course right shoulder right there. It is the same thing. We had left shoulder right there, head, right shoulder. So I hope that sinks in, correct? Now I do advise that you avoid this kind of market move, that the market is moving sideways, correct? Now let's just try to identify these things in the real market, correct? Right, this is it. Now look at this. If we talk about maybe this zone right here, correct? Now you see price was printing a series of a lower low right here, lower high, lower low, lower high, then lower low right there, correct? Now with that being said, we see price doing this, created a new lower low right here, correct? Now guess what? The market went back. Now what was the market supposed to do? The market was supposed to do this, break right there to continue with this downtrend, right? But guess what? The market never broke out of the last lower low, but instead price did what? Went up, created a new low, calling it a higher low, then now broke out of this high right there. I hope you guys can see that clearly. And if we say this is just a higher high, higher low, higher high, and guess what? Price came back to give us a higher low, and that's when we see the trend really shifted. And if you look at this properly, like we said, a left shoulder right here, head, and of course right shoulder, and we see the market reversing. Let's see if we can get one on a downtrend right here. So you see price was giving us higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high. Now this is it. Let's just do this. Now what was price supposed to do? Price was just supposed to continue with this series of uptrend, higher high right there, higher low, then now continue breaking out of that high. Let's just mark this as our previous high. Come on, our previous high right here, correct? Now this is how price was supposed to do. Give us a new high the way it did, come back, then now break out of this high, then we see that maybe we continue looking for our buys. But guess what? Price respected the new low, higher low, higher high, then created a new series of lower low right there, went back. Instead of price breaking, right, did this, then broke out of this immediate, remember guys, immediate, correct? Now price broke out of this immediate, telling you that now we kind of in a downtrend, lower low, lower high, and all we need to do is just wait for price to give us a lower high once again, and that is where we look for our selling properties and take our entry, correct? Now let me just look for maybe another scenario, maybe another pair, just random pair. Let me just scroll my mouse, then I clicked on euro CHF, correct? Did we look at euro? Anyway, let's just continue. Right, so let's just start with this. What was the market doing? Lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low, and as usual we're anticipating price to give us lower high, then continue to go down. But then guess what? This is the last low right there, correct? And we see price when created a new high, did this, instead of coming back to respect or to break out of this structure, did this and broke, correct? Let's just remove this, and broke. With that being said, we had a high right there. Now that means we had a higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, and we see price continue going up. Of course, when was this? Wednesday, and now we see this is what market is doing, correct? Now let's just understand this. Like we said, price was printing a higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low. Then instead of the market to break, let's just mark this right here. Instead of the market to break, to continue with this trend, we see that the market did this, then now dropped, correct? Now that means the market has given us a new low right here, right? So we mark out this as a new low. Now for this to be a valid trend, this is what we anticipate. Lower low, the price has to do this, then now takes this low right there. Once that is done, that's now a confirmed downtrend. We anticipate a pullback, and now we look for our bearish property, look for sales right there, correct? Now let's continue. Let's see, maybe right here I see something over here, and of course we see we had a higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high. We're supposed to anticipate higher low, then price to continue doing its thing, and guess what? Price, let's just mark right there. This is what price did. Instead of price breaking, let's just start. Instead of price giving us a higher low right there and breaking, we see price went down, then now created a new low, correct? Now that being said, we mark out that low. Let's just mark out this as a new low. That is the immediate low. Remember, just like this level right here that we just identified, same as this is the immediate low, correct? I hope you guys see that. Now right over here, you just need to do nothing, correct? Unless price takes out this low, then it's a confirmed downtrend. Then remember, we still have our high here. Unless price breaks out of this new high, that will be a confirmed uptrend, and we see maybe price continuing to go up. Now let's just continue over here. We see price created a new low. Guess what? Price broke. That being said, price has just started printing lower low right there, lower high, lower low, and guess what? We anticipate a lower high, and we look for our bearish property for our sell position. Of course, if you use trend line, you see it makes sense, baby. Then look for your sell properties or selling properties, whichever name you call it, and then take your entry, guys. I hope that makes sense. So that is the easiest way for you guys to identify a market shift, all right? So if you was in a trade and you see price trying to print this thing that we've just talked about, let's say you was in a, let me remove this, and let's just, sometimes the market might just be manipulative, right? Let's say you've seen price has done this, lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high, then you take your sell position right here, correct? Take your sell position on the last, or I mean on the lower high right there, correct? and of course you was to target whichever or risk to reward ratio you're talking about. Let's just say maybe around that level. But you see price doing this, price drops and then does this once again. Okay, you might think this is just a pullback to give you a new lower high. Then you see price doing this, and instead of price once again going back to take out this last low, you see price breaking out of that high that it did create, something like this. So with that, just close your position, call it a day, because the market is trying to reverse. And look at this, the left shoulder right there, head, right shoulder, run for your life. But then I hope that makes sense, guys. So if you have any question, let me know in this comment box below, and check out my Telegram link in the description box below. And adios, mi amigos, peace.